Hello, everybody. This is Jeff from Treasure Talk and Treasure Tales, greeting you tonight on Thursday, November 10th, and it's time for Treasure Tales. Now, if tomorrow, of course, is Veterans Day, if any of y'all out there know a veteran, tell them thank you for your service. It would be appreciated, and I know they would appreciate it. We got a lot going on here in the state of Florida and with the storms, and we're going to chit chat about that a little bit and a bunch of other things that we got going on, and then we'll bring our guests on a little bit later in the show. But it's going to be a really good night tonight, I think. Hopefully that the internet will cooperate. Let's hope, and kind of see what happens with that. But let's bring on the co-host with the most from the sunny shores of Hamilton, Ontario, the Diggin' Canuck. And,
Actually, it was sunny today. It was about 70 degrees up here today.
wow, it wasn't here. It was rainy all day, and about
Well,
64, I think, was our high.
I can't believe we beat you today.
Well, we're kind of in a hurricane, so you know,
Kind of.
yeah. We were just chit chatting a little bit earlier, and um, there's a lot. This storm has done an awful lot of damage, and I think a lot of it was set up by Hurricane Ian. We're watching the news today and down around Daytona, and I just was in Daytona a couple of weeks ago, and the Ian had taken a lot of sand off the beach, but now there's even more. I mean, down in Daytona Shores, which is just maybe a mile and a half further south from where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's houses falling in the ocean.
Wow.
I mean, there's pictures of, their foundations are all out. The seawalls have been washed out. There was one that had their swimming pool beachside, and the swimming pool was just hanging out there. You could see the whole thing underneath and everything.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Crazy.
Lots of debris. Uh, So it's taken a lot of sand off the beach, which it will put a lot of it back. But I don't know how good at detecting it's going to be when you get all that trash. I little pieces of metal and this and that and the other thing. I don't know. And hopefully, I mean, it's heartbreaking. You see these people, their house is gone, and the way the insurance companies kind of react these days. Don't not pay your premium because they will cancel you in a heartbeat. But when
Yes.
it comes time you make a claim, something that you've paid on, maybe for 30 years, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we can pay that, and
Mm-hmm.
that thing. So it's
Yeah.
it's really, really sad to me when they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyways, we'll kind of find out Monday night what went on the Treasure Coast. Terry Shannon's on Treasure Talk, and I know he had his detectors all set up, and he was raring to go. And I think they probably had 6 or 7 foot of cut down on the Treasure Coast. Are you still there? I can't hardly see you. Hello, Liz. Are you there? Her internet must be messing up. I don't know. Let me see if I can send her a message. Let's see. She said her internet was messing up, updating or something. So all of a sudden she's gone. So she'll be back, I'm sure. We hope. Anyways, so what we will do is she'll be back here shortly. So just some stuff that's coming up. If you're out and about, Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday obviously is the 25th, I believe, and on the 26th at Myers Metal Detectors, Captain Fizz will be in the house, for a book signing. He's going to have a bunch of his books up there, and he'll be at Myers Metal Detectors from noon to 3, signing his books if you would like to get one, and make great stocking stuffers um, and all that kind of thing. And we should be getting a video uh, pretty soon from a presentation that Phil did to Captain Fizz the other day. I think this was possibly Tuesday, um, after they were on the show last week. So I think Tuesday, Fizz stopped in the shop to buy a detector, and that wonderful slate that Adele Rutherford painted for Scuba Wise, which was just absolutely spot on, fantastic. We kind of presented it to Fizz then. I think there's a video of it, and we're going to be running that shortly. Not tonight, but we will be running it so y'all can see that. And so I'm going to go ahead, and while we're waiting on the Canuck to come back, let me text her here real quick, just to see if she's going to be able to make it. It's a wonderful world of internet. I'm telling you. In a Monday night show, I had problems with mine. It just fizzled out just right before we went on the show. And luckily, I was able to get everything restored right before we went live. But I tell you what, I don't know. It's strange. So we'll see if she's going to be able to make it back. But anyway, let's say hello to everybody that is here. And then Mr. TT Jay Naylor, the Mumbles Man, was the first one in the chat. Glad that he is with us tonight. And Andrew T. Good evening, Andrew. We will see you in a couple of weeks, I think, or next week maybe. I have to look at my schedule, but it's coming up real soon, so y'all will get to meet Andrew T. He will be on the show with us. Charles Fitzpatrick. Nice to see you, Charles. Glad that you joined us. Let's see. Who else is in the chat? Robert Ridgway from Pinellas Park. Robert, glad that you are with us tonight. You had some severe weather down there, but nothing bad, I don't think. So hopefully, everything is okay. And no damage, I hope. So that's good. That's really good. I mean, we've had just nothing but rain here, which we need very, very badly. I got a big hunt coming up next week. Mumbles Man is coming up, and John David's coming over. So we've got I secured us a permission that's got from early 1800s, late 1700s. So we'll see. I went out there to test it out and couldn't get a spade in the ground. It's been so dry up here. But now with this rain, hopefully it'll be good. The ground will be softer, and then signals will pop, and we'll be able to get a spade in the ground. I hope. So, Looter8 Treasure Hunter, glad that you are in the chat. And the wonderful, the beautiful Adele Lampersky Rutherford, the most talented artist, just fantastic. She painted that slate. So, if you weren't able to watch Treasure Talk this Monday night when Captain Fizz and Mark Littleton and Brad Williamson were on, we presented them with that slate. And Adele was able to join us for that presentation. And they, needless to say, they were blown away. That was something that was really, really nice and just outstanding. Outstanding. Let's see. Who else is here? John David, my brother from another mother, is in the house. And let's see. Let's see who else. I'm trying to get Lynn Levesque. Glad to see you from Quebec. Glad that you're in the house tonight. And let's see, keep on going. And yeah, yeah. Mumbles Man said, if you notice, Liz is gone. It was her internet, and the doll head got her, I think. You know. And okay, says her heater. She got a little heater that she runs down by her desk. It blew the breaker. So she's rebooting everything. And the Myers metal detectors, my other brother from another mother, is in the house. And y'all remember, if you just now tuned in on November 26th at Myers Metal Detectors in sunny Tampa, Florida, Captain Carl Fismer will be in the house doing a book signing. All his books will be available there. And make sure that you stop by. He'll be there from 12 to 3. So that should be good. That should be really good. So stop by if you can. And Phil says he saw a Spanish silver found today in Bansteel Park, which I have no idea where Bansteel Park is, but somebody found it, and that's a good thing. Let's see. Al Labine. Hey, Al, I think you're down in the Treasure Coast, Al. So give us a little report. If you're not down the Treasure Coast and you're down in Miami, what's happening on the beaches down there? If you're getting some good cuts, we'd be interested to find that out. Drum Detect, glad that you're here tonight. And Jimmy Barube Levesque is in the house. Glad that you're here. And Moosney, glad that you are here, Tim. And from out there on Long Island. And let's see. Okay. I think we've reached the end of the people in the chat and everybody else out there. Come on in the chat if you would like. We'd love to say hello. Diggin' Duo is in the chat. I'm glad that you were joining us. And here is, let's see if this person here. Do we know this person? Do we know this person? I just don't know.
I don't know what's going on. I think the doll head is conspiring against
Well, it might
it.
be. It might be the doll head. That's what Tim Naylor thought. That the doll head had abducted you.
Everything, my lights, my computer, everything just went black.
Well, all
Wow.
of a sudden you got real dark. We could barely see you,
Wow.
and then you went away. So we were just saying hello to people.
Okay.
And
All right.
Terry Care just joined us. Glad that you are with us tonight. So I think we've hit everybody, but so what's been going on up in Canada? I know you were out. You were out hunting today, weren't you?
Yes, I met my friend Helen, who's from out of town. She made the drive down, and we went hunting at an old, like 1880s abandoned. Well, it's abandoned now, and it's kind of like grown over into the woods, but a military rifle range.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
So it's from the mid 1800s.
yes, we dug pouches full of old, the British equivalent of a of the three ringer bullet that Americans are familiar with.
Oh, well, that has to be cool to dig all that.
Yeah, and
Tiring.
sorry.
Tiring.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They after a while, they weigh a lot.
Yeah, they
Because
do. You
yeah,
know.
no kidding. It was just yeah, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. Now we dug a bunch of, so the three ringer British equivalent is called a Snyder bullet, and
Okay.
we dug a ton of those, and then My friend Helen was actually very lucky. She dug a long and skinny Martini Henry bullet, which actually came after the Snyder. So nice British bullets, and we really didn't get much else after that.
Well, you probably were so tired, you didn't really care. Uh, so you were swinging your days too.
No, Helen has an ORX, so I decided I would bring my ORX as well so that we can kind of, be on the same playing field. But I got to say that her coil ran out of juice. I think it goes back to probably not charging it correctly with the little
Yeah,
charging clip.
that happens. That does
Yeah.
happen, especially
Mhm.
on the like with the Deus One and even the Deus Two. It's happened on the Deus Two,
It's happened to me
um,
twice. Yeah.
especially in those HF coils. If she was using the HF coil,
Yeah, we both did.
and that was a that's something that Deus really needs to work on is how
Mhm.
the charger seats or come up with a new charger.
Yeah.
Because you think that you've got it,
Mhm.
and then and you may have, but then if you set the coil down on the floor, it
Yes.
just a little bit.
Yeah, it's not it the actual plug is not flush with the coil. It actually sits a couple millimeters beyond the coil, and I think that's what the problem is, and they should really fix that.
Yeah. So what I used to do when I had my Deus One, and well, I've got a different charging thing now for my Deus Two. But I used to just lay it on the couch with the coil off, so I didn't have that problem because that had happened to me. And there's
Mhm.
nothing that ticks you off more than that.
Yeah, actually, Calabash Digger, who's in the chat, just said that metal detecting doodads makes an aftermarket charger.
Yep, and that's the one I have, and
There you go.
yeah, it seats very nicely. It's a lot easier to get on,
Mm,
and
yeah, that
very nice.
clip is a pain to squeeze. Sometimes I have to use like 2 hands to squeeze that
Yeah,
sucker on.
yeah. Sometimes it is a real pain, but the thing from um, detector doodads works very very well, and it's got a little meter on it too, which I like.
Mm, mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't remember. Maybe it was $25 or something. I don't really
Mhm.
remember because I bought a couple of different things from them to lock the remote control on. I
Yeah.
bought a couple of those. But now there's some other things coming along from our friends at Steve's Detector Rods. He is making a carbon fiber shaft for the Deus 2.
Mhm.
It's all carbon fiber, and they're going to go into production first part of December. So hopefully by Christmas, I
Mhm.
will have one of his new shafts. Look very, very nice. I've already ordered one, so
Yeah.
um, it's not going to be the same shape as the Deus shaft. I think it'll be round, but Steve's Detector Rods always uses really good cam locks, which
Mhm.
does make a difference.
Mhm.
And carbon fiber is, as everybody knows, is lighter and it's good and strong. So uh, once I get that in, I will show you. And
Mhm. Yep.
in January, January 2nd, I believe, is Steve's Detector Rods is going to be first guest on Treasure
Mm.
Talk 2023.
Mhm.
We will be debuting actually that Deus 2 shaft.
Wonderful.
And I
Wonderful.
also have it on good authority that Detect Ed is feverishly working on a carbon
Mm.
fiber Detect Ed, Deus 2 shaft.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, I would imagine that most places will be jumping on the bandwagon for that.
A lot of them will,
Yeah.
um, but there's only a few that really make good ones. Anderson has one.
Mhm.
It's a straight shaft. Um, Now Steve's is going to have the S. It's going to be the S shaft,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's going to have that where you can counterweight it if you so choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
For some of the real tall people,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know in the water, the dais shaft for me it doesn't really wander much in the water because I'm short. But you get people that are taller that have to really extend that shaft out.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to flex a lot. So
Little wobble.
yeah,
Mm.
I haven't had that problem, but then again, I'm a run, so you know, so there is that.
Yeah.
But so there's some things that's happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
I said, I was telling people before, right after Thanksgiving, that's the big shopping weekend where everybody goes out shopping. And if you're going to be in Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Captain Carl Fisner will be at Phil's shop on Florida Avenue in Tampa from 12 to 3 on Saturday. November 26th with a bunch of his books and to do a book signing. So if you're out and about and you're looking for some really good books and like to have them signed and like to meet Cat and Carl, stop by and check it out. It should be
Mm-hmm.
a good time, you know?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Now, you've got a bunch of stuff going on too, don't you?
Well, I guess on Saturday, this Saturday, I'm going to be doing live coin roll hunting for. Man, I'm getting an echo. Are you getting an echo, or is that just me?
That's just you.
Oh, okay.
I'd kick the
I
crap out of that heater.
I think no, it's off. It's the doll head. I think it's the doll head.
It is. It probably is. It
It's
is. It is.
probably running around this room as we speak. Also, I'll scream if I see the doll head appear on my shoulder.
Well, it might.
Oh
You
my
never
god. Oh my good.
know.
Oh my goodness. So like I was saying, so I'm doing live coin roll hunting Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm gonna do it, kind of gonna split the screen. I'm gonna be on one side, and my friend Tripwire from Straight Up Metal Detecting is gonna be on the other side. So we're kind of gonna do a head to head competition, a friendly competition, and we'll see where that goes.
Well, I think that you will prevail, and I have every confidence in you.
Oh wow, Gene. I hope so.
Well, you know. So, what else is going on with you?
Been talking to a large Canadian metal detecting retailer. I guess we're kind of gonna be working together, kind of like a little partnership. But I will let you know more about that when I have the details. So that's always something to look forward to.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, there's a tremendous amount of treasure hunters in Canada.
Hmm. Yes, yes,
And,
there are.
it's unfortunate with the Postal Service, both the Canada Post and the United States Postal Service.
Hmm.
It just costs so
Yeah.
much.
Hmm. Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, wait till these people, like everyone, wait till you have to mail a package to relatives for Christmas. It's going to be crazy. Absolutely nuts.
If it gets there, you know. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you pay all this money
Yeah.
for this and insure it and this and that and the other thing,
Yeah.
and it may or may not get there.
Hmm.
And then when you try to talk to them about it, they go, "Oh well, you know."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
And
might,
tracking and insurance is they're like really getting it's getting expensive too. So it's
yeah,
just it's crazy.
yeah. And that's where you know what? Send it from Amazon. Let them worry about it.
You know what? Yeah, it's terrible, and I hate to buy Amazon stuff because I'd rather shop, in the country or locally.
Yeah.
But sometimes you really
Well,
have no. I mean, how they can send these packages all over the place and you pay free shipping. I mean, I have no idea. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know, and I don't even ask, and I'm not worried about it. But um, well, for all your relatives that still live in Canada, I mean, that's okay. But they got a lot of friends all around the world, and
Yeah.
even sending them out some stickers
Yeah.
cost you $15.
Well, and then you got to do the weight limits, and then there's also the thickness limit, and sometimes you can only fit like a couple in there, and it's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, down here we've got sending books out and stuff like that. They call it media mail, which is
Hmm.
uh, a lot cheaper, but
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
it's still ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
it is. It's crazy.
So, anyways, well, it's good that Calabash is in the chat tonight. Uh,
Yeah.
he is pretty up to date on the Deus too. Uh,
Yes.
you know, I wish he'd get up with me. I'd like to have him on the show and talk about it.
I actually watched his live stream yesterday. He was talking about Deus 2 and different programs and stuff like that, or settings, and very, very. I mean, if you enjoy that sort of stuff, then absolutely, watch his videos and just like, oh my goodness, it's just like all this stuff, and I'm like, wow. And then today, what do? I go out and take the ORX, which is pretty much just almost turn on and go. But yeah, if you like dabbling in your settings and like really, really, I guess, getting that detector to like sing practically, then yeah, definitely.
Oh yes, I mean that's the wonderful thing about the Deus too, because
Yeah.
you can just customize that right down to the gnat's whisker, uh,
Mm-hmm.
depending
Yeah.
on the site that you're on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
So, Calabash, if you're out there, hit me with an email if you'd like to come on the Treasure Talk sometime. Let me just pop that up here in case anybody wants to email us. Hit the right thing. That would be better, wouldn't it? There
There
we
you go.
go. There we go. I'm brain damaged, so people just have to understand. Plus, I'm old, so you know. So Calabash says something about late November, early December will be there in the States. Tell Phil to stock up. What are you referring to, Calabash?
He might be talking about that the shaft that you were talking about. He's going to shoot you an email. There you go.
Okay. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Because the last time I talked to Steve at Steve Detector's Rod, he said he was waiting on some parts,
Mm.
which okay, he's talking about the 11 by 13-inch coil. Yeah, I
Ah.
think Phil has got a bunch of those on order,
Mm.
and that's a big one.
Yeah,
Uh,
I won't be buying that one.
well, a lot of people that I think what'll happen possibly with that one is um, that's where the newer shafts, the carbon fiber shafts,
Ah.
come
Mhm.
into play a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because somebody that is a relic hunter in the fields would love that one, and a lot of people on the beach. Now, I don't know that I'd like it in the water. I
Mhm.
think it's too big for hunting in the water.
Mhm.
But if you were just a dry sander or a wet sander, that may be a really nice coil because you get real good coverage and it's going to go a little deeper. And I did watch his video on that.
Mhm.
You know, he says it's only 3 ounces heavier than the 11, but I think, depending on where the weight is for me. Uh,
Mhm.
but I personally, if I am um, dirt digging, I like the 9. It's just something about it that suits me better.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I have the 11-inch that I use in the water and on the beach. So,
Mhm.
um, but that's my personal preference.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm old, so there is that.
That's
But
the second time you've said that tonight.
I am old. Older than dirt. Oh
I
well.
tell you. I tell you. I tell you.
But I always have liked that 9-inch coil.
I really, really, I loved it on the ORX, and I love it on the Deus. Love it, absolutely love it.
When I had my Deus, regular Deus one, I had the 9x5 elliptical
Oh
and the
yeah,
9
yeah.
inch Jeff coil, but I also had the X35 9 inch
Mm,
coil.
hmm.
And I just seldom ever used the 9x5 HF
Really?
coil. I just, I had the 9 inch HF coil and the X35 coil. And in trashy areas, boy, I tell you what, it worked great for me.
Mm.
And so I
I
just,
yeah. Hmm.
seldom had it. But
Yeah, I guess if you were in the like on a cornfield or something in between the corn stalks, that 9x5 would be nice.
yeah, yeah. Well, when we were in England, a friend of mine, Danny Graham, had his 9x5 HF coil over there, and he did rather well with it.
Hmm.
So, um, and I had all the coils for the Deus over there with me too, but all I used was the 9. I didn't do use the 11 one day, but most of the time I did the either the X35 or the 9 inch HF coil. So
Hmm.
that's, there's a lot of great detectors out there, and there's a lot of good deals to be had. I
Yes,
know
lots of deals. Yeah.
I know that the guy that you're going to be in partnership with has got some great deals running. I know Phil's got some good deals running,
Hmm.
and everybody out there that are dealers. So this is going to be Charles Fitzpatrick wants to know if we can recommend a good pinpointer. For me, I use the MI6, which is from XP Deus. And the reason I use that, it's a very customizable pinpointer. Plus, it funnels right through my headphones because there's nothing I
Hmm.
hate worse when you're out dirt digging using a pinpointer, having to take the dang headphones off and this, and that, and the other thing. It
Yes.
just, right through my
Hmm.
headphones. So
Hmm. Yes.
I have found it to be an extremely sensitive pinpointer. I can adjust
Hmm.
it to go pretty much as deep as I want. Which one do you use?
I have the MI6 as well, and I first got it with the ORX, which it pairs to. You get, you hear the audio through your headphones. Same thing with well, it's paired with the Deus 2 as well. But I for those that don't have the an XP product that you can pair the MI6 with, my backup detect or pinpointer is the Garrett Carrot.
Yeah, that's been
I
that's a
still
great.
have mine, and I bought it a gazillion years ago, and it's my backup pinpointer. And you know what? When the battery wears out, just pop in a new battery.
Yep, yep. And it was for me. I got tired of dealing with the batteries,
Mm,
so I like everything to be rechargeable. I guess,
mm-hmm,
but that's just me.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, there
and
is a fix. There is a fix to that to the Garrett Carrot pinpointer. 9-volt batteries. They have rechargeables now. You can buy two rechargeables, but with the charger for like maybe $15 on Amazon. Always have the both the batteries. With one, if one dies, just pop the other one in. Wonderful.
yeah, well, there you go. Buy
Yeah.
it from Amazon again. Hey,
I am not affiliated with Amazon or anything like that. Okay.
not yet, not yet.
No, I
But
am not
they
at
may be
all.
calling you. They may be calling you.
No, I don't think so. They don't want me.
Oh, just like Calibi says, if he was a betting man, he said he would bet a 9x5 will be made for the Deus too.
I
And
hope so, because that one I will buy. I'll tell you right
oh,
now.
I'll buy it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I would say he's probably 100% right on. 100% right
Yeah.
on. So, well, why don't we do this, my darling? Why don't we bring on our guest for this evening?
Yes. Let's do that.
Would you like to do the on air? See,
I knew this was
I'm
coming.
lapsing into French,
I knew this was
talking
going.
to a Canuck, and I go, hey, madame, would you like to
uh,
do the on air? Don't drop into
don't
this.
quit your day job. Don't quit your
No
day job.
terms.
Our guest, our guest tonight hails from the great state of North Carolina. He is an amazing detectorist. He's also a musician, and I think he is a proper gentleman. Mike, metal detecting, North Carolina. Let's bring him on.
There
Hello,
he
everybody.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
We are good. We're pretty good tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, everything's fine here. We're just getting a little bit of rain from the hurricane and everything, but that's fine. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more as time goes on.
Well, I don't know about you up there, but we sure needed the rain here. I
But
tell
me
you
and my
what,
detecting partner Craig, we usually go out on Veterans Day, rain or shine, and go out and do some detecting somewhere. And tomorrow's probably is forecasted for rain, but we're gonna go out and hit some parks anyway because we both got waterproof detectors, and why not?
that's why they make them
Exactly.
waterproof,
There you go.
you know, and it makes those signals pop. Like I was telling Liz, I've got a permission I finally was able to get set up. And it's a fairly large area, but there's an old cemetery, and it's from probably 1840s. I've been out there. And there's a lot of old graves, which I don't dig on graves, but from late 1700s to early to mid 1800s, and it was so hard out there that I could not even get a spade in the ground. And I
Oh
used the
wow.
best spade on the planet Earth, which is an Excalibur Cirque, and I could not hardly get it in the ground.
Well, unless you got a jackhammer, sometimes the ground's so hard that you can't get through.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the case. So I'm liking all this rain. It's going to soften that ground up, make those signals.
Exactly.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I did a video called "After the Rain," and the ground was so soft that it's really sandy soil here, and the plugs wouldn't even hold together most of the time.
oh
But it
yeah,
makes the targets more conductive, which means that you get an extra inch or two or three. And I was using the big coil, so me and Craig were out at this particular field and last Veterans Day, and we were just finding all kinds of deep targets that we missed before because it was right after the rain.
Mm-hmm.
mhm. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think that, but it is true. You've had a lot of rain up there, haven't you, Lizzie?
We're supposed to get rain all day tomorrow. Haven't had rain in a couple days, but yeah, I really don't care if we get it or not.
Well, the only thing tough about the rain, detecting in the rain, is it's fine if you're not recording, but when you have to
Yes.
get your phone out and you
Yeah.
have to record something, makes it a little bit of a challenge to keep your phone dry.
Exactly. Now, Mike, you mentioned that you had a waterproof detector. What detector are you using these days?
I'm still using the old AT Pro.
Ah.
It's served me well, and my friend has a CTX 3030 and a Knox 800, and I could hold my own against both of those. And as long as mine's continuing to perform,
Mm-hmm.
I figure why upgrade. The only thing about the AT Pro is it does not work very well on saltwater conditions. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where that Knox excels, and so does the CTX 3030.
Mm-hmm.
So when me and Craig go to the beach, he lets me use his Knox 800, and he uses his CTX 3030.
Well, the Garrett products have been, they cut their teeth on relic hunting, and that's what it's always been about. And they excel in that area. And the AT Pro is a fantastic machine, and it does what it's supposed to do. On dry sand, and then dirt digging, it's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, the detector that I have for relic hunting, if I was going to go to a Civil War battlefield or anything, I still have my old white Spectrum XLT, and
Mm-hmm.
that thing is one heck of a relic machine. I found a percussion cap for a musket about 6 inches down with that thing,
Mm-hmm.
and just that thing goes incredibly deep. But the only thing about that, the CT, the white Spectrum XLT is it misses a lot of coins. If it's on edge or something like that, it might miss it, depending on how you got it set up.
Yeah.
But it's one heck of a relic machine. I love it for that.
And
I still use it. I still use it. Even though it's old, I still use it a lot.
well, just because something's old, that yeah.
And
But
recently, I don't know if you saw it, but I went on a trip, and I didn't bring my detector with me. But I was in an area where there was some very old activity dating back to George Washington's time, and I was like, I don't have a detector. I don't have anything. So I went to Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and bought a um, Bounty Hunter 4, Track 4, and bought the shovel and everything at Lowe's. And I just made a video, detect for less than $170. And I was detecting around in this park, and I found a very beautiful musket ball with that thing, among other things. It was just amazing that just to show that you don't need a crazy expensive machine to find great stuff.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is
Any
true.
yeah, I totally any detector will find treasure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, when we take a quick break here for a word from our sponsor, and it will be right back. So everybody stay with us.
Hey friends, Phil Myers here from Myers Metal Detectors located in sunny Tampa, Florida. Today we're going to talk a little bit about coils, about increasing your finds by using a different size coil for the application. Now today I have my Coil Tech coils here. These are available for the MindLab Equinox 600 and 800. And this is a very popular coil, the 5x10 coil for relic and coin hunting in very trashy areas. Excellent coil, covers a lot of ground, still goes deep for the 5x10 size that it is. I also have a 14x9 coil and a 15-inch coil. You should think about changing your coils to do different things with your detector. To go deeper for relic hunting or deeper on the beach, you want to cover more ground. Think about using a different size coil to dress up your detector and find more finds. Also, Coil Tech has a special for Christmas. They have a special promo pack that comes with each coil. It's a $50 value. I think they might call it a prospecting kit. But anyway, it has a lot of accessories in it, and we'll have those in stock next week. So, Phil Myers, Myers Metal Detector, and remember, along with your new coil when you get it, you're also going to get one of our famous Florida calendars and our nice blue hat. Phil Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, 813-237-1939, or look me up on the website, myersdepot.com. Thank you and happy hunting.
There we go. We are back alive and
Yeah.
There you go.
Speaking of aftermarket coils, the
Yeah.
first aftermarket coil that I got for my AT Pro was the NEL Tornado coil.
Uh-huh.
And that thing is, I can't say enough about that thing. It's had superior depth and pinpointing. I do tip of the coil pinpointing. I don't use the pinpoint function on the detector. And then the next coil that I got was the Garrett Puck, the 4.5-inch coil, and that thing is really good. It gets surprising depth for as small as that coil is, and it really gets between the iron trash and pulls out those coin signals, those high tones.
Yeah, I had the Nell coil when I had my E-Track. I had that big Nell coil on there. That sucker was deep. It was too deep. Didn't want to dig that.
So a couple of the things that I do when I first get to a site is, if I haven't been there before, I do a quick site survey. I just look around and I see, where's the biggest, oldest tree at? And where's the house at, if there's still a structure, or where was the house at? And where's the back of the house, because the clotheslines weren't far from the back of the house. And I like to go around where the clotheslines were, the path to and from the clotheslines, because that's where people leave change in their pockets and it just falls out and stuff like that. And everybody knows that old trick. swing sets. If you have an old tree that has marks on the branch where a swing set or a swing used to be, try that area. Um, you know, around the porches and everything, it's where a garden used to be, because people dig in the gardens. It's just all kinds of different places. And so basically, I just putter around and I just cherry pick the high tones. And when I find a high tone, I concentrate on the area for a little while and see what else I can find. Because once you start finding the high tones, then the other stuff isn't far behind. So once I first get to a site, I don't dig everything at first until I start finding where the high tones are. But if I'm at a farm field, for example, that cotton field, that series of cotton fields videos that I did, I'll dig everything that beeps above, and sometimes even iron signals. But everything that beeps, I'll dig it. And a lot of times, even if you were at a park and you beeped a signal that was 40, 41, and you're thinking, oh, that's just a scrap of aluminum, it winds up being a little tiny button.
Mm.
You know, an old antebellum era button from the 1820s, 1830s.
Mm-hmm.
So some places it's okay to dig everything. Yes, you'll dig a lot of trash, but the treasure is there too.
We do have a question for you in the chat from TTJ Naylor, and he asks, "What is your strangest find?" Strangest.
My wife? No, just kidding. No, my strangest find had to have been a right off the top of my head, I would have to say it was a mortar shell. It was solid. When I first pulled the plug open, it was giving me an overload signal out of limits, OL. And I was like, this has to be big. So I pushed my shovel in there and I hit it, ding. And I was like, oh, there it is. So I just started working my way back to try to find where the edge of it was. And then I kind of dug the plug around it and I pulled the plug away. And there was a solid iron, it looked like a mortar shell, that pear shape. And it was out in some farm field. I guess they were doing some train up for World War II or something like that. And at first I was like, turned off the machine and took a step back, took a couple pictures and looked it up. And talking to Craig, and I was like, should we call the bomb squad or something? And so he's like, no, it's a training round. It's solid. It's good. Don't worry about it. So I looked at it again, and it didn't have a fuse on the front, on the tip. So I was like, okay, good. Yeah, no fuse. So that's good. That's a good thing. So that was the strangest one. That's the one that made my heart skip a beat.
Wow, but, I guess so.
The next strangest find that I had was a ring that came out of the ground, and it had a little bit of gold left on it, but it was a copper ring, and stamped on the inside said 14K. So
a forgery.
Yeah, well, lucky, Mike. You need to thank your lucky stars that you haven't found a doll head, because they
I know, right?
Come back and get you.
I swear, if it pops up here, I'm gonna have a heart attack on the spot.
I do have another parody song coming out pretty soon, and you're gonna see it. It has to do. There is a
magician.
Lyric in there
I'm sorry. I'm just want to tell everybody he's a magician too. Or not a magician, sorry, a musician.
Well, he could be a magician as well, because he's going to make the Bride of Chucky appear.
Oh, God. He's a musician.
But I do have a lyric in there about the ground being hard, and another thing about digging up evil things.
So, do you?
Like witches' jars and things like that. You know, if I ever dug up a witch jar, I would bury it. I would rebury it. I would not even open it up. I would you know, I'm sorry, but that's one of those things that I would have to leave alone.
You don't want to be dabbling in that kind of stuff, because you just never know.
No. That's right. We could ask Jason the next time he's on the show if anything's happened with the witch jar he found.
Yeah, I saw that, and Digging with Deej found one too.
Yeah, quite a few people have found them, and they open them.
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
So
I wouldn't open it.
no. So Mike, recently you've been posting videos that you were digging in Florida. Now I'm really curious as to the do you find it better, or was it more conducive to better finds digging in Florida than in North Carolina, or like what were the good parts
Um,
of that and the bad stuff?
I have a lot more permissions in North Carolina than I do in Florida. So Florida, I'm stuck with the public domain, which is
Mm,
public parks and things like that, unless I get a permission for an older place. But um, I do some of my work. I do travel to Florida for work a lot, and so I just can't help but bring my detector with me and do some filming while I'm there.
mhm,
And even if it is an old park, I do my due diligence and get on, Maprika and the old maps and find out what was at this site before the park was there. Because a
mhm,
lot of times it was old home sites or something like that,
mhm,
and just to see where the old home sites are. And there's evidence of that when you start digging. You're like, I'm in the right spot. The silver's not far behind. And then you
mhm,
start finding all this old trash, and you're figuring, if anybody else was here before, then they should have found this,
mhm,
before
mhm,
now. So I'm just hoping to get some of that trash out of the way so I can start finding some older coins.
mhm,
Well, you got to dig the trash to find the old
That's true.
stuff.
mhm.
That's just the way it is. It's not
Yes,
they
it
call it
is.
treasure hunting, not necessarily treasure finding. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, so, what else is going on in the world of metal detecting North Carolina?
Um, Other than the storms and everything, I got the permission for a separate cotton field that that same landowner owns, and on that site is a remnants of an old house or a structure that was built in the 1840s, 1850s.
Hmm?
So that's pretty promising.
Mhm,
Waiting for them to harvest the cotton and cut the stalks down so it'll make the detecting a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think they're
mhm,
down here. They're harvesting the cotton right now. So they have been for the last couple of weeks. So it shouldn't be too much longer, and then you'll be able to get in there. And the good thing about that is it won't be scaldy hot when you get in there.
Yeah, there you
mm.
go.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So
Exactly. Now,
uh,
Mike, your YouTube bio said you've been detecting for 40 years. Now, I'm wondering if someone who's detected for 40 years still has something that you're hoping to dig that you have not yet dug. There's got to be something. What is it?
It's a U.S. large cent.
Oh,
All
really?
this time I've been detecting, and I started when I was 10 years old, and that was in 1977 when I got my first detector, and I started really getting into it in 1978. And all this time, I found Indian cents, I found V nickels, Buffalo nickels, seeded coins, standing liberties, just you name it, but never a large cent. And not
Oh.
found a U.S. large cent. I found two Canadian large cents, but not a U.S. large cent. So that's my
Well,
white
two
whale.
Canadians should count as one Canadian or as one American.
One was a 1901 and the other was a 1917.
Ah, very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice. Well, I really hope that you get your American large scent one day.
I do too.
I hope you have a
When-
dance prepared.
Oh, I do. I'll twist myself into a pretzel and stay that way. Oh,
that's not something we find a lot here in Florida. Um, but I would think up there in your area in the Carolinas, there's a lot more history uh, up there than there is here.
not
Uh,
really. It depends on where you're at because people get kind of complacent where they're at. And for example, people out west are envious of people in the east because they dig a lot of Civil War bullets, a lot of colonial coins. But if
mhm.
people in the east are jealous of the people in the west because they dig a lot of old west
Mm,
dispenser bullets, carbines, and stuff like that, has to do with the old
mhm,
west, and sometimes a lot more guns that are that are better preserved because of the hot, arid, dry climate.
Mm-hmm.
So there's pros and cons to wherever you're at, and each place that you're at. For example, when I grew up in Michigan, it was a logging area, and it was a lot of stuff from that area. A lot of what do they call them? Store tokens from like the company store
Yeah.
and stuff like that from when the loggers would lose them. And but when I moved to North Carolina, you start finding a little bit more buttons and military and Civil War stuff because that's where the war was fought. But then you go down to Florida, and then you get to where the Spanish was in the 1500s on up, and that's where you're going to start finding your reals and stuff like that if you're on the old Spanish Trail and stuff like that. So it just takes a lot of research to find out where they camped, and you just got to try to figure it out, because you figure that when the Civil War people were marching, like when Sherman was marching, they would make about 8 miles a day. And that's about an average, a forced march, 8 miles a day. So every 8 miles, you could figure, well, there's got to be a camp around here somewhere along this road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. There's a camp on every 8 miles. There's a lot of camps down there.
Yeah, there's a lot of camps, and you can find them. If you see that video that I did, Map Recon 101, there's a lot of tools that you can use to find out, especially in the Library of Congress has all these maps available to you. You can research and find out the direction that the troops are traveling on a particular road, the date that they camped there, and how long they stayed, and when they moved on. It's amazing how much you can find if you just do. 90% of your great finds has to do with how much research you put into it.
That's true.
Because if you go detecting in a spot and there was no activity there, you're not going to find anything. Just because it's an open field doesn't mean you're going to find something. There has to have been some human activity there first.
We got a couple questions here. Calabash wants to know what part of North Carolina are you in? And Practical Ken would like to know what part of Michigan did you detect? Because he is in West Michigan.
Oh, okay. The part of North Carolina that I'm from is Cumberland County, which is the central south part, about half hour away from the South Carolina border. And where I grew up in Michigan was in the Thumb area, around the Flint area, around that area. So a lot of history around there. There's a lot of native too in that area too. So when don't discount, just because you're looking for something, a lot of dig stocks and stuff like that. The one in North Carolina, people are always looking for colonial stuff, but there's always a lot of native mixed in.
Well, I hope to find some in March when I'm there.
Oh, there's a funny story about when I was in Boy Scouts. Check this out. I'm not sure this is exclusive, but I was talking to this guy who was teaching kids how to make arrowheads, right? Just how to work the flint and how to work the chippable stones like slate and stuff like that. So he would make a mistake and he would break a tip off and he'd toss it in the bucket, right? So he's like, oh, this one's ruined. So he just tossed it in the bucket. And then he would continue working. And I was talking to him one day, and he was like, this particular field where everybody's finding all these arrowheads, at the end of the week when he was done, he'd have like a half a bucket of ruined arrowheads. And he just starts scattering them around, throwing them out the field for the kids to find. And they're like all excited, I found an arrowhead. Good job. Sitting right on top, too. Yeah, good job, man.
Oh, too funny.
Well, real quickly, Mike, what's next for you?
Right now, my house is being remodeled, so I hope to get my relic room done. I hope to get something like that done, and then do more live streaming in the future. But as of lately, I haven't been doing hardly any live streaming at all, because of my work and everything like that. So I hope to do more, live streaming and stuff like that, and get more in touch with the community. Maybe organize a hunt or something like that for the kids or whoever's interested in this area, and see if we can do something like that. Because I got a colonial property lined up that might be interesting for some people.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to getting on this permission I've got next week with the Mumbles Man and John David. And like I said, it was so hard out there that my Excalibur shovel, Sir K, I couldn't even get it in the ground. Now we got a little rain. So, like I say, you can't beat that shovel. It's the best in the world. So I'm looking forward to getting it in the ground and digging some goodies next week.
There you go.
Right on.
It'll be fun. It will be fun. So, Mike, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I mean, it's amazing how fast the time goes when you're having fun.
I just want to thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Liz. And thank you, Jeff.
Wonderful to have you here, Mike. Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. So,
and thank you to everyone in the chat, because without you guys, this show really wouldn't be a success.
That is true. That is true. I've been sitting here talking to myself, and that's very uninteresting. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, Mike, thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you again soon.
Take care, Mike. All right. Stay safe. All right.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he does a lot of research. And if anybody is thinking about like how to research in that, he has a great video where he actually explains a whole bunch of resources that anyone can use for researching properties to detect.
Yeah. Just like he said, that is, that's 90% of it. Because just because you go up to a place and you think it might be old, it does not mean you're going to find a thing.
Yes, exactly.
So, doing a little research, find out there, and you kind of know what was there. I mean, you do it all the time. That's why you're successful.
Yes, yes.
So hopefully, I'll have some success next week. It was
all we can hope for.
Yep. Show as always, and remember to join us Monday night on Treasure Talk when the legend of the Treasure Coast, Terry Shannon, will be our guest. And with all this storm going on, putting on some cuts in the beach. I know Terry was probably on the beach today.
Probably.
Well, I can almost guarantee you he was all day long. So it'd be interesting to find out what he has found. And I think he's now swinging the dais too. Yeah. So very interesting. Very interesting. So we're going to cut on out of here.
All right.
You get your heater fixed up and take Miley for a walk. And
yes.
Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate it a great deal, and we will see you again next week. And then for Thanksgiving, of course, there will be no show. That's Thanksgiving Day, so there won't be a show that day, but we'll be right back after that. So, Liz, thanks for joining me tonight, as always.
You're very welcome.
You're the one people come to see.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So everybody, we want to wish you a good night, happy hunting, and dig deeper. And thanks for watching.
Have a great night, everyone.